Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into Windtree Therapeutics' latest report. Let's just say their financial situation is so precarious it's like watching someone try to tightrope walk across the Grand Canyon on a windy day. Windtree Therapeutics, a biotech firm, just released their annual report. And the big takeaway is that there's substantial doubt they can even stay in business without a major cash infusion. They're betting big on their corporate strategy, acquiring revenue-generating businesses and drug development pipeline, and it's far from a sure thing. As with any company, there are risks, and they are putting all the cards on the table by summarizing them all at the start. These guys are upfront that their cash position is shaky, they've been losing money, and might not be able to keep going. The report highlights that their current financial situation is a huge red flag, that's putting it mildly. The numbers paint a pretty concerning picture and it all hints that they need to find new funding. They even acknowledge the possibility of changing their business or pursuing new ventures, showing they're open to anything to stay afloat. They are dependent upon third-party clinical trials and global events, something which is very common for pharmaceutical firms. Istaroxene, their main drug, is currently in phase 2 trials for cardiogenic shock and AFF. We can see that their next review is slated for Q3 2025. However, their ability to reach 100 patients is dependent upon them getting the capital needed through financing and business deals. Without the cash, everything will fall apart. Their new strategy is to acquire revenue through acquisitions of small companies and their FDA-approved products. They intend to use equity for this, which may cause further dilutions. Windtree is relying on Li's Pharmaceutical in China for key steps for getting their drugs developed and out to the rest of the world. To ensure they maintain a lead, they are also acquiring patent rights. One of these in particular could be important, is expected to stay in force until 2026. They intend to seek new patents, licenses, and trademarks related to a PK. They mention in passing that hypertension affects almost half the adults in the US. It's important as they try to find a partner in this space for rostafurocloxin. The FDA has granted the orphan drug designation to their Hevforn surfactant, which means it's meant to treat a rare disease. This gives them a chance for a 7-year exclusive marketing period in the US. The FDA might take as long as a year to review new drug applications, but they have to be followed carefully every step of the way. Windtree indicates they are a smaller reporting company. In other words, they are too small to be considered an accelerated filer. Windtree also mentions if they cannot maintain effective control systems, it could restrict our future access to the capital markets. Windtree has agreements with Li's Holdings that allow them to market overseas. This is great, but it also creates a reliance on the third party. Unstable economic times might mean they won't get that extra money they're counting on to make their goals happen. The report mentions the large numbers of people affected by high blood pressure and how they hope to invest in that market. They have to comply with many laws including anti-kickback and false claims laws. There is ongoing investment to maintain and enforce their competitive position through patents. They are competing with other existing pharmaceutical companies and other companies who have a lot more money to invest in getting to market. As a result of selling medicine, people might get hurt, and because of that, people might sue. The auditors gave their opinion and also stated that there were concerns about whether the company could continue as a going concern. Okay, let's dive into the financials. On the asset side, cash and cash equivalents significantly dropped from $4.3 million from 2023 to 2024. The one bright side is the company reports long-term assets of intangible assets, such as their patents. It is clear from this report what the strategy is. It's a bet the company's strategy that all depends on getting the funds. One last thing, for 2024, interest expense consists primarily of interest expense associated with the amortization of the issuance costs and the debt discount related to our senior convertible notes payable. We see a web of financial obligations with related parties. It gets very complex and it is not a good look for this company. There was nearly 50% reduction in cash compared to the prior period and an increase in accounts payable. It's not a great trend. We see large figures, but mostly due to paper gains clauses on non-cash transactions, like debts, warrant values, and stock. What this means to me is that core operations are not healthy. As a result of failing to timely file one report, it's going to make it that much more difficult to actually raise capital. Lastly, there are multiple patents expiring that are important. If they have to compete without the protection, it might affect their market share. In the future, they have to make payments to licensors and will be under the gun to make those payments if they do not increase the share price. It also could be tough to get more partnerships as other companies see them as a risk. The liability insurance is also risky. If they get sued, they might not be able to cover it. It will cost more to get liability insurance. Lastly, as a small company, talent is always a risk. Employees can leave and it's hard to retain people without funding. Putting it all together, Windtree Therapeutics is walking a financial tightrope. They need more cash fast to keep their plans alive. Their bet on acquisitions to generate revenue is risky. If these moves pay off, their stock could soar, but without more money to fund the pipeline, this stock might be worthless. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, hit like, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings.